Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Rick Vaders Show. As you can tell by the title of this video, I'm going to be talking about Star Wars. There is a lot of spoilers on this one. I made another video that I don't want to give any spoilers out because I saw it on opening day, and some of you might not have watched it, and I don't want to give any spoilers out. I didn't want to ruin your movie. That's why I respected the fact that you guys didn't see it, and I don't want to give any spoilers out. And a lot of people were saying, you said that there was going to be some spoilers on this video, but there's no spoilers. For that reason is because I wanted to respect the Star Wars fans, true Star Wars fans are going to watch it over the weekend. And if you haven't watched it, yeah, you're probably not a Star Wars fan, as you say you are, but unless you have like money issues, which is understandable. Everybody has money issues, which is okay. That's why I'm going to give you guys a 5-minute countdown or 5-second countdown to click out of this video, because there will be a whole bunch of spoilers. So if you don't want to watch it, then click out of it. And I did have some spoilers. On my defense, I did have some spoilers on my last video. I did talk about stuff that you probably wouldn't have known if you didn't watch the movie. So technically that is a spoiler. But anyways, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sorry, my cat was bothering me. If you haven't clicked out, you don't mind the spoilers, so here we go. Let's start from the very beginning. Poe tries to take down the Star Killer, and of course nothing happens to him. He's by himself, and absolutely no ship or no gun or no weapon whatsoever hits him. That's one thing that I felt like I hate it. Like these people were like untouchable for some weird reason. These people, all the heroes and all the main characters became Superman. They were untouchable. No matter what they did, they were untouchable. Something always happened, or they couldn't get hurt, or absolutely nothing. They were untouchable. Like I said, untouchable. And so anyways, Poe Dameron goes and he starts trying to take down the Star Killer by himself, and then he's shooting down all the weapons, all the guns, and they say that they can't shoot him down because the guns in the Star Killer aren't capable of shooting something such a close range. But if you guys remember, in A New Hope, the same Star Killers were shooting at the planes that were at the X-Wings that were right next to him, and shooting a bunch of them down. And another thing is that once Poe Dameron shot all the guns off the Star Killer, some bomber planes started coming in, and they started blowing up the stuff. And for some reason, now out of a sudden, these guns could take down the bomber planes. A little contradiction if you ask me. But anyways, once again, of course, the hero takes down one of the Star Killers, blah blah blah, and then it keeps going, whatever. And then another thing is Princess Leia's character. She's still, rest in peace. We love you, Carrie Fisher. You're awesome as Leia in the first 3 movies, but her acting was just bad. It's just understandable because she hasn't been acting for a while, hopefully she doesn't haunt me unless she comes back as a Force ghost. I know, I'm sorry, a little too early. I know, I'm sorry, a little too soon. Apologize. Anyways, the point is, her character, she actually uses the Force on this movie, which I thought was pretty cool. That's one of the things that I thought was pretty cool, that she used the Force. But they ruined the cool part. She uses the Force a little too much. Like, once again, she didn't have any training for the Force either, but she knew how to use it, which is kind of weird. But Yoda explains that later on in the movie. But the whole thing is that but it's out of a sudden. You could use the Force if it's inside you, but in the first 3 movies, you couldn't. You had to be taught the Force. You had to taught the way of the Force, which made more sense than just the Force is in me. I know how to use it exactly the way I want to use it. It doesn't make any sense that way, but once again, they ruined this part of it too. So Leia knows how to use the Force, and there's a part in the movie where her ship gets blown off on the side where she's standing at, so she gets sucked into oblivion. She just gets sucked into the middle of nowhere, in outer space, and so she starts dying. You know, she starts crystallizing and turning into ice or whatever you want to call it, and she's dead, and then out of nowhere she just comes back to life, which makes me think, is she Darth Plagueis? Is she Darth Plagueis? Because you guys remember Darth Sidious was saying that Darth Plagueis knew how to bring people back to life. So did she figure out how to, you know, bring herself back to life? Huh, new theory. Anyways, so she comes back to life, and then she does this whole Michael Jordan thing back into the plane. Like, she, out of nowhere, she becomes Superwoman, and she starts like gliding back into the plane. I was like, what the heck is happening here? Like, did I come into the wrong theater? Is this still Star Wars? Like, for real? Anyways, she she dunks her way Michael Jordan style back into the plane, and she survives, of course, and whatever. That was pretty stupid, if you ask me. But anyways, moving on from Leia, we go into Rey. We still don't know who's Rey's parents are. Like, it still doesn't tell us. But the thing is that they insist on joking about it, or, you know, trying to rub it in our faces that we don't know who Rey's parents are. Her trying to find her parents keeps coming back in like so many scenes. Like, I know who your parents are, and Kylo Ren tells her that he knows who her parents are so many times, and Kylo Ren, or she knows, she starts to wonder who her parents are. She goes, like she goes into a dark place to figure out who her parents are, and I'll talk about that in a little second. And like, they bring up the whole parent thing so many times, but it's never answered. Well, actually, Kylo Ren tells her that her parents are some drunk gambling people that that just left her for some money, which I think he was lying, obviously, because her parents were nobody, and she's a nobody, but she means a lot to Kylo Ren. And of course he was lying, just because he wanted, at that point he was trying to convince her to join him to become this new legion, this new threat over the world. They rule over the world. Between them two are the most strongest ones in the world, and they'll rule over the galaxy. So he tried to convince her, so he tried to make her feel like a nobody, to try to convince her to come to his side and take over the galaxy, which is pretty cool, and it made sense at that point, but we still don't know who Rey's parents are. She tries to find out, because I still think it's Luke, because she tries to find out. If you guys saw the commercials, at least, you guys saw that she dives in. If you guys saw the movie, she dives into the black hole. She goes into the water. She gets tripped out. She starts hallucinating. I don't know what was in the water, you know what I mean? She starts going crazy, I guess, and she starts seeing multiples of herself, and a little too much eggnog, you know what I mean? So she starts going crazy or whatever, and it's not really crazy. She starts hallucinating or going into I don't know what she's doing, but she touches this glass, and she asks who are my real parents, and there's a silhouette of her parents, what we thought were her parents, and then she sees that it's herself. So once again, the director's just like teasing us and be like, you idiots, you fell into my trap, you morons, for watching this video, and blah blah blah. Anyways, I honestly think it's Luke Skywalker. If you guys see, it's exactly the silhouette of Luke Skywalker when it's in the Return of the Jedi, where he's wearing his black suit, and you can see the hair and the way he moves, the way Luke Skywalker walks. It's exactly the same as what showed up in the silhouette. I will be talking about this in different videos, so I'll keep going about Rey. So yeah, they keep emphasizing, or they keep bringing up that who her parents are, and who's this and who's that, but we never find out what it is, which is pretty stupid if you ask me, because I think the reason why they're doing this is because they want to do it like Lucas did when nobody knew that Darth Vader was Luke's father until they actually wrote it in the script, and they were like, oh my god, that makes sense. I guess he tried to recreate that, but in a fake way. So then again, it is Disney, and Disney tries to copy everything, and that brings me into another thing. A lot of people were saying, they were trying to defend the director, saying that it was not the director. The whole thing was cool. And I said on my last video, if J.J. Abrams directed this movie, it would have been a lot better. It would have made a lot more sense. And they tried to defend the director, saying that, is it Ryan Johnson? I think it is. But they tried to defend the director, saying that he's a really good director. If J.J. Abrams was in it, they would have just copied exactly the same thing that A New Hope or Empire Strikes Back or The Return of the Jedi. And then some people were saying, I asked for something different, and it was completely different, and that's probably why I feel, indifferent about the whole thing, or I don't know how to feel about the whole new Star Wars, The Last Jedi, because it was different than all the other ones. No, it was not different. It was exactly the same as Return of the Jedi, and the same thing as Empire Strikes Back. The whole fight, remember Empire Strikes Back where the AT-ATs were at, and they were fighting against the rebel base? Yeah, this happened on this one too. Remember that, with the same AT-ATs? The only difference between this AT-ATs and the original AT-ATs is that they have new legs. So I call them Lieutenant Dane AT-ATs. Why do I say that? Well, because if you guys ever watched Forrest Gump, and you know who Lieutenant Dan is, he got his legs blown off on the war, so he got new legs, and then Forrest Gump goes and he tells Lieutenant Dan, you got new legs. And so he has new legs, and that's what these AT-ATs are. The same thing as the old AT-ATs, they just got new legs. Lieutenant AT-AT, you got new legs. Anyways, the whole battle comes, and once again, they're just trying to sell products, because that new AT-AT, Lieutenant Dang AT-AT did not do anything. They didn't do anything. They just shot at Luke Skywalker, and that's basically it. They didn't do anything else. They just stood there. That's it. Trying to sell products. Anyways, because I know when I saw them first, I was like, oh, cool, new vehicles, new AT-ATs, and I was like, big disappointment. Anyways, the whole thing is that it's exactly the same as The Empire Strikes Back, and then this saga, or this trilogy, is a copy of the first trilogy. I'm not talking about the prequels, I'm talking about the originals. Instead of Darth Vader, it's Kylo Ren. Instead of Luke Skywalker, is Rey Skywalker. I'm gonna call her that because I know that's what she is. And then instead of Darth Sidious, it's Snoke, Emperor Snoke. But we don't know what Emperor Snoke is. We don't know if he's a Sith or he's a part of the Ren thing. They never showed the Knights of Ren. They didn't show how Snoke became Snoke or anything like that, but I'll talk about Snoke in a little bit. I want to make this point. So yeah, so Kylo Ren is now, Darth Vader is now Kylo Ren, Luke Skywalker is now Rey, and Darth Sidious is now Snoke. With that being said, you know how Darth Sidious sent Darth Vader to get Luke Skywalker, and he brings him in to get to go in front of Darth Sidious, and then they start a battle, and then the same thing happens on this movie. Exact same thing, but wait a minute, it's different. No, it's the exact same thing. So Rey and Kylo Ren are going to go see Snoke, just the same way that Darth Vader and Luke went to go see Sidious, to try to convince Luke, which is now Rey, to join the dark side. Where have we seen this before? Anyways, so Darth Sidious is sitting on his throne. Snoke is sitting on his throne. Darth Vader is telling Luke, which is Kylo Ren, telling Rey that to join the dark side. You should join the dark side, and it's, you know, better in the dark side, blah blah blah, this and that. So same thing happens. Snoke is telling Rey, join the dark side, you know, join us, and get angry inside you. And what way does he show him to get angry? He shows him that her rebels are getting destroyed, and he feels the anger inside of Rey, just like Darth Sidious did with Luke Skywalker. Remember that? Remember that part where Luke Skywalker is looking out the window and he sees his rebel friends being destroyed, and he gets anger and he says, "Strike me down, show your anger." Remember, Sidious tells that to Luke Skywalker. This seems pretty similar. It seems kind of similar, but yet, you know, so everybody said it's a whole different movie. No, it's the exact same thing. It's the exact same thing as the prequels. The exact same thing is happening. It just had a little bit of different things. Snoke tells freezes Rey. She throws her around like a doll, and then freezes her. And then he tells Kylo Ren, "Hey, Kylo Ren, fulfill your destiny. Strike her down, and, you know, fulfill your destiny." But where have we heard that before? Was it Sidious to Darth Vader when he was fighting Luke? Oh no, it couldn't be, because it's a brand new movie. It's not a copy of the other movies. It's a whole new movie. But anyways, but if J.J. Abrams was directing it, it would have been the exact same thing. But this movie is the exact same thing as the prequels. But anyways, I just think J.J. Abrams would have done a way better job than this guy did. Anyways, the whole point is that what was my point? My whole point is that he goes and he tries to strike. Snoke tells Kylo Ren to strike Rey down and fulfill his destiny, and so he gets his blade. And then here's the stupid part. Here's what it's so stupid. But Snoke even tells Rey that he could sense everything and see everything Kylo Ren does. At that moment, at that time, at that scene, he tells him this stuff. He tells Rey that he knows and he sees everything that Kylo Ren does. And this happens. Snoke takes Rey's lightsaber away. He takes it away. He puts it conveniently right next to him, and he tells Kylo Ren to strike Rey down. So instead of striking Rey down, Kylo Ren turns the lightsaber towards Snoke and turns the lightsaber on, cutting Snoke right through his stomach, and then takes the lightsaber off. Snoke falls into two halves, or three halves, because his hand's still laying there. Cuts him and just dead. That's it, kids. Turn off the lights, say goodnight, tuck yourselves in. That's the end of the story for Snoke. That's it. The most powerful being out there, stronger than Sidious, stronger than any other Darth Lord out there. He's a nobody. He's a nobody. Maybe Kylo Ren was right about, you know, Rey's parents. They're nobodies, just like Snoke was a nobody, which is only the strongest person in the world. They just happen to die the stupidest way too. It's just like, anyways, the ball just kept rolling from there. Like I said, Carrie Fisher's Leia was just ridiculous, and then Rey, we don't know about Rey's parents, and then it brings us to Luke Skywalker. There is some things that I thought was really cool about Luke, and I thought that it was cool that he developed this extra power or this extra strength, and he became that much stronger. And as a Jedi, he became, you know, he got on another level in the whole Jedi thing. And he became what I think was the Force Ghost, but once again, the director doesn't tell us exactly what he was. I'm just assuming he was a Force Ghost. I don't think he was just the image of him, or I don't know, maybe R2D2 was shining a reflection of Luke Skywalker, or R2D2 shows Leia telling him, "You're our only hope, Luke," or Obi-Wan, "Please hurry, you're our only hope." He shows a little image of Leia. Maybe R2D2 was in the works and he was showing the image of Luke Skywalker. But who knows? Who knows? The director never tells us what it is. I mean, I'm assuming that's what it was, because they show afterwards. They show Luke Skywalker meditating. Like I said, it could have been a Force ghost, or it could have been a different type of power that Luke had that we didn't know about. Wasn't explained. I still think it was pretty cool that happened, and the way Luke was fighting on this against Kylo Ren was freaking awesome. That was pretty dope. I love that part. I think that was my favorite part. And they shot at him 50 billion times and he didn't die, and you were like, what the heck? And like, I thought he was just gonna use the Force and stop all the bullets and stuff like that, or stop all the rays or missiles or bombs or whatever they were shooting at him, lasers that they were shooting at him. And but no, they were just shooting at him, and then he's just like walking like whatever, and then Kylo Ren sees him. He says, "I'm gonna fight him by myself." So he goes and he fights him by himself. So Luke turns into, I'm thinking what it is, a Force ghost, and he turns into a Force ghost, and then he, which I thought was pretty awesome, the way he fought against Kylo Ren. And so I thought that was the best part of the movie. And so then we go back to Luke. We go back to Luke, and he's meditating. That's what made me think he's a Force ghost, and he's meditating. I guess he used too much power, and he just dissolved like Obi-Wan Kenobi did. Which it does make sense in a way that he just dissolved. He used too much power and then became a Force ghost, and he just knew how to take it further by, you know, sending his Force ghost to fight Kylo Ren, which is pretty awesome if you think about it. That's pretty cool, but it's kind of wacky killing them off on this episode, because who's gonna train Rey on the next episode? Leia. How's Leia gonna train Rey? She doesn't know anything about it. There's no more books. Yoda destroys the books, and then out of nowhere he just tells Luke that it's not based in years and years of training. What the books have to say, how the whole Jedi thing started, it has nothing to do with it. Like, it's starting all over again, I guess, is what they're going for. And then so it's a new breed of Jedi is what I'm thinking happened. Once again, there was no direction to tell us what to do with it. That's why I'm saying that the director was horrible. Anyways, so we're just here just assuming most of what happened in the movie. That's what we're left with. We're just assuming what's going on. That's why I didn't like it. When you watch a movie, you should be able to know the plot of the movie from the beginning to the end. Everything should be understood, whether it's from the beginning and you know what happened at the end. That makes a good movie. Like, you know what I mean? But anyways, maybe that's just me. What was I going with this? Oh yeah, so who's gonna train Rey? Leia can't train him. Leia doesn't know anything. She's like, what is she gonna do? You know what I mean? Like, she could teach her how to do the old basketball Michael Jordan thing, or the Wonder Woman fighting through the sky. Or maybe she got trained and we don't know about. Once again, we're left in the dark again with that. Who knows where she got the abilities to do it. And so Yoda tells Luke that it's what's inside, it's not what, how you know, the whole meaning of being a Jedi, it's irrelevant now, and this is the way what's inside of you, and you teach it. That's how you become a master, and blah blah, this and that, which was disappointing as well. But it was cool to see Yoda. And they had a bunch of comedy in there that was just pointless. A whole bunch of stuff like Finn's whole travel thing was useless. And then he fights Phasma, and I guess he just fought Phasma just because the fans were asking for it, because it was just a stupid little thing. And then Benicio del Toro's his acting's always awesome. His character's always cool because his acting's great. I thought he was great on this, but once again, his character was just there to get Finn from point A to point B, and that's it. We don't know what happens after him. After that, he just takes his money and he leaves. Bye bye. No more story. But then again, he could be Rey's dad, because Kylo Ren does tell him that he's a gambler and a drunk, and that's what DJ's character was. That's his name, I guess, DJ. And then that's probably what it is, because he doesn't die or anything. Maybe we'll see him in the next one, and he ends up being Rey's daddy. This is daddy left her for some money, which I guess that's the way they're trying to go. Who knows? The director didn't give us anything. Anyways, so yeah, there's still a bunch of other stuff, but this video is running a whole lot longer than I wanted it to. But that's my theory. That's the reason why I don't like it. There was no conclusion to anything. Everything was just given to you, just like randomness, and there was no story behind it. There was no good character development. It was just, here you go. It's a Star Wars movie. I'm gonna put Star Wars in the title and have the old characters together, and there's a Star Wars movie. And copy the same thing that they do on the other prequels. Copy the same thing. It's not a new movie. It's a copy of the first 3 movies. Anyways, so yeah, that's all I have to say about that. And then the Porgs, before I go, the Porgs, they were just there to make money. You know, as soon as Lucas signed that contract with Disney, or sold it to Disney, that's signing Star Wars life away. It's just, you know, from there, it's just, I think it's just gonna go boom. Unless, you know, like I said, J.J. Abrams might make a comeback with episode 9, but it better not take 2 years to make. It better be at least just 1 year, because if it takes 2 years, man, I'm gonna rip this shit off of me and be like, screw Star Wars, let's go into Harry Potter. Is that too late? Harry Potter's too late? I don't know. Anyways, yeah, guys, that's all I had to say about that. And thank you guys so much for watching. I didn't like Star Wars. This is my opinion. I told you guys why. If you have any other questions about anything, make sure you guys leave a comment down below. You just want to say hi, you just want to say anything, you want to ask me something, what I thought about whatever, what you guys thought about what I said, leave a comment down below, and I'll be more than happy to answer you guys. If you're new to my channel, make sure you guys subscribe, hit the little notification on the side, give this video a thumbs up or a thumbs down, whatever you want. I don't really care. If you enjoyed it, hit the thumbs up, thumbs down if you didn't. And then if you subscribe, guess what? You guys will see me on the next one. Peace.